His professional record, 15 victories with 9 KOs, only 4 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, Oliver, the Atomic Bull McCall. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim, weighing an even 221 pounds from right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Undefeated as a professional with a record of 18-0, 15 KOs. Introducing the Atlantic City Express, Bruce Seldon.
Seldon, McCall, I understand you already been giving the instructions. Give me a good, clean fight. I will not bother neither one of you. 2 things you must remember. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Shake hands. Good luck.
So look at Bruce Seldon. Some serious pacing going on from both competitors. Both fighters really ready, absolutely in peak condition. And McCall giving himself, we said this earlier about another fighter on this card, but really giving himself a real chance to win the fight.
Yeah, excellent conditioning for him. He acknowledged it's probably the best condition that he has been in a long, long time. And even without the conditioning he has tonight, he has given heavyweights some problems. There you see the knockout ratio. Better for Seldon, but McCall can punch.
Seldon said he wants to box him, and as you indicated, that's what he needs to do. Does have a good, strong jab, and there's a look at it.
You and I did that bout in which he walked out against Jose Robalta, Seldon, and got just smashed with the right hand, went down for all the world. It looked like he wouldn't get up. He got up, and he said when he first was knocked down, he said, I was out of it. And all of a sudden, it came back to me, and I heard the count at about 5 or 6 and jumped up.
Yeah, we thought he was kind of faking it. And he said no.
Yeah, I originally thought that it was a ploy. And I told him, I said, you could have gotten away with that, Bruce. You're too honest. There's the right by McCall.
The right hand by Seldon, too.
And I'm sure that McCall, he did look at the tapes of Robalta, and he said very plainly today, he said, if I hit him with a good right hand like that, he's not getting up. Well, we'll see.
McCall's most recent losses are forgivable ones. Split decision to Orlin Norris in his last fight in November. And he lost to Buster Douglas, and that was a fit Buster Douglas.
Yeah, and Buster Douglas, who he had in some trouble toward the end of that bout. McCall has been sparring with Tommy Morrison, who we saw a little bit earlier. And he said he thought there was great sparring for the Seldon bout because Morrison has the same quickness of hands. The jab of Seldon working very well early here in this bout, and of course that's a vital weapon for him. Not all those landing, but enough getting in. Some of those blocked, as was that one. McCall really economical with his punches here.
And not doing much in the first round.
Excellent jab there by McCall. First one he's thrown. That may have stunned Seldon.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it caught Seldon on the way in, and it knocked him backwards.
Seldon says, come on, but I don't know that he really wants McCall to throw more punches at that moment.
So we head to the end of the first round. Seldon more active, and McCall with the biggest single punch of the fight. Round number 2, Bruce Seldon and Oliver McCall. And McCall showing a very good jab in that first round.
Yeah, he didn't throw it as much as he'd like, but when it landed well. And a couple of the one, I think even really surprised Bruce Seldon with his power. Bruce Seldon is getting a little bit more aggressive here, and I think he is because he felt a little power from McCall in that last round, I believe. Well, the right eye of McCall is kind of, as we take a look at the punches from the last round, Seldon clearly out-punching McCall. Oliver McCall's right eye was squinting with it. It might have caught a little bit of a thumb in it.
Yeah, in fact, it looked like it was almost closed for just a minute. Have to take a look at it when they turn around our way. And he's still having some trouble with it. Still blinking.
And Seldon, to his credit, taking advantage of it, being more aggressive, and that may be the reason why he did bore in.
McCall still blinking the eye. I think you're absolutely right. I think he did catch him thumbs. There isn't a lot of swelling, though, but he's just having trouble, obviously, clearing it.
McCall is throwing his right hand just a little bit wide. It's not getting as much power as he'd like into it.
McCall said that he felt that Bruce Seldon would try to jump on him. Seldon said he was going to box him, and so far, McCall's thinking is the right one.
Especially in round 2.
McCall picking the tempo up a little bit now.
He is, I think McCall's a little right hand happy here. He should be using the jab more and mixing it to the body, which he did just there, and then the uppercuts. Both men have earned a healthy respect from the other in terms of the power they've shown. No man has landed a real perfect bomb, if you will, but they've both landed enough decent power shots to give each other some respect. And you know, one thing about Bruce Seldon is I don't see as many body shots from him as we've seen in recent bouts.
Yeah, in fact, when he first came up, he did it a lot. Worked off the jab a lot, went downstairs, especially early in fights a lot. Now he covers up.
Very lethargic move there by Seldon. He was pushed back, and some other boxer may have jumped on him. McCall didn't, but again, the jab of McCall gets there.
And it is a good jab. It gets Seldon backing up.
McCall sparing and using it. Oh, the head, that's what is a problem maybe. The head against the McCall's eye again. Both men hurt by the clash of heads.
Interesting second round. That's a real tactical round. Tough round to score, too.
You get your ass?
Yeah.
You all right?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I'm all right now.
Oh, take your arms off the rope. Where's it at?
You got that one even?
No, I don't got a cut now.
Yes, I did. I made that one an even round.
And you heard McCall say, I'm all right now.
He was off the glass. He's trying to make you reflect. But this glass a little bit. And actually,
we told you McCall was blinking with his right eye. There's a jab to the eye, and he closed it a little bit. That may have been where that eye started squinting.
So we start the third round, and that second round really was a tactical kind of round.
And there we have the punches. Look at how close that second round was.
Lending credence to your 10-10
well,
score.
I thought it was very, very close, and the numbers would bear that out. Well, there's Seldon using his jab effectively in the uppercut. He is more of a combination puncher than McCall, obviously.
That was a very good jab right there. He didn't follow it up very well with the right hand, though.
McCall is going to have to get off first more in this bout. Bruce Seldon's jab is really effective. I mean, that is a weapon that must work for him, and it has tonight.
And he's doing more of it here in the third round, as he did in the first round. Second round, he brawled a little bit with it.
McCall's not landing the right hand. Seldon's keeping his hands up. What will land for McCall is the right uppercut. So instead of throwing the straight right after the jab, the right uppercut, even though it's a risk taking a proposition, would be good. There's a right that landed.
And that hurt him. See him do a little shuffle when he landed that right hand.
And that came because McCall landed a good jab before it. Many people believed Jose Rebalta was a good test for Seldon. I think a lot of boxing people think McCall is an even better test.
McCall never knocked out in his career. 4 losses have all come by way of decision.
we said, those decisions against some people that you don't have to be ashamed to lose to at all. Buster Douglas and Orland Norris. Mike the Bounty Hunter, who's one of the toughest guys on earth to box, and another early in his career.
And a nice right hand from McCall. It caught Seldon on the way in.
He is so much better when he uses that jab, McCall.
Okay, break. Break, man. Break him up on
This is a round in which Oliver McCall might be gaining his first round in his column.
Yeah, Seldon working the jab a little else in this round. And even working the jab off a stiff-legged posture. End of round number 3, and on our cards, an even fight.
This is by McCall, but Seldon landed 19 jabs. McCall's 4 in the last round.
Graziano telling his man, as you look at Al's card, which shows it an even fight, telling his man between rounds to stay at long range, don't let him get on top of you, and box him.
And he thought his fighter lost last round. He said, you gave it to him.
So to let him get inside, let him get too close. This a 10-round heavyweight fight. Bruce Seldon in the black trunks with the gold stripe, the gold tassels on his shoes. Oliver McCall in the white trunks, blue stripe. A very close fight so far. Interesting fight.
He had a different colored trunks. I think they were black, and they asked him if he would mind wearing another color if they provided. He said yes, as long as it's not pink.
Just don't give me pink.
He's happy to accept the white and the blue. Robin Blake used to fight in pink trunks.
Pink on Thomas also,
yeah,
as you might expect.
Both men a little tentative in this round. McCall trying to get that jab out there, but it's been an underused weapon for him. See, there now he tries the uppercut, which might be a little more effective for him. Good defense by Bruce Seldon.
Pretty soon, all these young heavyweights that we've been watching will start to weed each other out. Talking about making a nice right hand that time by McCall, but Seldon bounced right back. Talking about making Mercer Morrison.
A very interesting bout. Of course, Mercer looking at Seldon here, knowing, or rather Morrison looking at Seldon at ringside here, knowing he's a potential opponent. McCall has done a couple of very good things here in this round. Number one, he's been busy. Number two, he has found the uppercut as a decent weapon. As you saw there, he threw the right, then he came with the uppercut. See, there it is. He sees that as a possibility. And even though a lot of these punches are being blocked, Seldon is throwing so few punches that I think Oliver McCall might be taking another round here.
Yeah, not a bad round for McCall, and he jumps on him at the end of the round as well. We'll be back.
Well, this right hand by Oliver McCall, a little better than the other one we showed you, but also shows you that Seldon is turning away from that punch pretty well. A very significant statistic, though. Punch profile tells us that the first round in which McCall out-jabbed Seldon, out-jabbing him 10-9, or 10-7, I'm sorry.
McCall wants Seldon to come to him now, and I'm not sure Seldon will do that. But again, Carmen Graziano told Seldon he lost the round, that he's given away the last 2 rounds. Through the first 4 rounds, Seldon a little bit more active, but McCall has been the heavier puncher.
You can see how close it is from that, though. And they gave Seldon a real pep talk, and he landed an excellent right hand. They said, go after this guy, and that's what he's doing, and he just landed well.
Good right hand a moment ago.
But there is danger here because, yeah, there it is. If you brawl with Oliver McCall, you could have some problems. Because he's not timid, and he'll throw.
It'll be interesting to see what Carmen Graziano has to say to Bruce Seldon after this round, if it continues the way it started. McCall trying to find a home for that uppercut.
Now, He's throwing it from too far out. That's the big problem. Seldon is shaking his head no, but meanwhile, standing there with her gloves up and taking those shots, some of whom are getting it, is not a great idea, unless they really think McCall is going to tire out. Now, McCall is also really ignoring the body, as is Seldon. That might be an open target for him.
And to tell the truth, McCall is starting to puff just a little bit. Breathing through his mouth a little bit more. I wouldn't say he's a tired fighter yet, but he's on the road.
Yeah, I agree with you, and they may have felt that. There's the jab, though. Some blood coming from the nose, I think, of Seldon. Right hand off the top of the head. See, now McCall is being more active. I wouldn't be surprised if he's throwing more punches in this round than Seldon, probably.
Yeah, nice jab by Seldon. And a big right hand by Seldon. That hurt McCall. He holds on. McCall's still a little wobbly.
This last rally by Seldon might be taking this round. The judges remember the latter part of rounds, although McCall did well early.
Going to walk you back into the corner of Oliver McCall. He does seem to be all right now. Meanwhile, in the corner of Bruce Seldon, and the voice you'll hear will be that of Carmine Graziano. Carmine Graziano, I beg your pardon.
Bruce, bob and weave. Go at him with this front foot going at him. Bob and weave. He's getting... And then pick your punches. Pick your punches. Relax a little more and explode your punches. Don't try too hard. That jab was working, not going to wait.
Set it up and take it. Think it
Whoa,
deep.
whoa, please, the three of us can't speak.
Go ahead, Carl.
Good. Run down and jab. Try. Get it going. And then drop the right hand. I want you to go at him, bobbing and weaving. Walk with it.
Bruce Seldon, toward the end of the round, lands this excellent right hand. And when he's been able to get the right hand in, it has been effective from yet another angle, and you can see he got pretty good power into that one. In fact, Seldon landed 63% of his power shots in the last round.
So we start the 6th round, scheduled for 10.
It's not been a cakewalk for Bruce Seldon.
No, it hasn't, but last round she showed very well, I thought.
Yeah, had the good jab working, the right hand.
A real hard and even fight through the first 5 rounds.
Gave the last round to Seldon. Got it very close.
Seldon working the jab. You heard Carmen Graziano tell him bob and weave.
That was a good right hand. Is he faking? No, I don't think
he's faking at all. And he is in some trouble. And now McCall jumps on him. And the uppercut got there. Seldon says, come on. And McCall obliges.
Bruce Seldon is punching, but he's still dazed. Dangerous, but dazed. Oh, my.
Right hand that rocked McCall. Now McCall holds on, trying to get the cobwebs out.
Well, the heart of Bruce Seldon tested here and not found wanting, is it?
The right hand. The first one actually I thought was caught partially on the glove.
Bruce Seldon has really turned things around here. He's still a little wobbly. They're both wobbly. I think both men are still hurt.
Yeah, Seldon looks stiff-legged almost.
Both men are really not very steady right now. Seldon may be a little less so even than McCall. Not the easiest round to score.
But McCall may be a little more tired.
Hey, and there's a thought, how about a body shot, huh, guys? They could do some damage with those.
Neither man has done much of that.
No, McCall went downstairs.
this round took a lot out of both fighters.
Yeah, the 7th round will be a fascinating and pivotal one to see. Seldon now showing a little movement we thought we'd see more of anyway in this bout. Gets the crowd excited.
Oh, he took a left hand from McCall for all that dancing. We'll be back.
For McCall in the last round really stunned Bruce Seldon. That one landed, even though Seldon was backing away at the time, and at first it almost looked like he was feigning this, but no, he was not. Covered up and took some more shots, but Bruce Seldon did not take himself out of this bout. He landed a good left hand and he came back in that round.
Fascinating round as we come to round 7. McCall actually more power punches in that last round landed than Seldon. 14-5 according to our punch profile, guys. Look at the numbers in the 6th round. Boy, awfully close.
Yeah, and probably I gave the edge to McCall, probably based, I guess, on the number of power punches he landed.
Good right hand by McCall. Seldon gets out of it.
And if ever there was a time when Bruce Seldon should decide to box there, I have McCall ahead by 1 point, it would be now. If he were to give McCall some movement, keep using that jab, I think he could still turn this bout right back into his favor if it's not there now.
The jab has been an effective weapon for Seldon, but he's let it go on occasion. Forgotten about it.
Look at how the posture of this bout has changed. Here's Seldon now pushing in to get to McCall, getting low, showing some versatility in all truth.
And we mentioned earlier McCall breathing through his mouth and maybe showing a little bit of fatigue. Seldon doing that now.
Big uppercut by McCall, but then he turned away. I don't know exactly what the reason is. I do think McCall getting a little tired, but then both men are a bit fatigued.
I think that 6th round really took a lot out of both men, as you mentioned.
And we told you up front that Oliver McCall had a very legitimate chance in this bout, and he does. A very close match. He has hurt Seldon as he has been hurt himself. And the danger in a bout like this for a young man like Seldon, and I don't want to overstate this, is the bloom can be taken off the rose. There could be people looking at this deciding, you know, is this young man the contender we thought he would be?
Well, everybody talks, of course, about fighters' chins. That's one of the big question marks, of course, about Evander Holyfield at the moment. And when you look at Bruce Seldon, who has been hurt on a couple of occasions, Revolta had him down, and McCall's had him hurt a couple of times. Certainly, people are going to talk about that.
Right now, Seldon's employing the right strategy by boxing with McCall, I think. Whether it'll win him this round, I don't know, but...
End of round number 7, and the fight is still up for grabs. We'll be back.
Right hand, and boy, here's an example. That one kind of off the side of the head, but he's throwing it, and he has landed some real freight train right hands.
The fight could come down to attrition as we start the 8th round, and both fighters a little bit tired, and we'll see who has what left. Through the first 7 rounds, look at the punch profile numbers. Extremely close.
Seldon with about a 20-point punch edge or so, 21. But you know, again, when you're in that range, depending on rounds, which rounds did you pile your edge up in?
And the power punching edge is probably to McCall.
By a little bit, yeah. Well, they both exchange excellent jabs. see, Oliver McCall hasn't been as accurate with his right hand probably as he would like. He's landed a fair share of them, but I don't think the accuracy level is exactly what he would want.
Nice right hand by Seldon.
Very nice punch on the inside. You know, it hasn't been a bad effort by Bruce Seldon, but it's been an uneven effort.
Right at the moment, Al, it looks like McCall's kind of pushing his punches to me.
Yeah, he is, and pushing Seldon as well, but keeping Seldon from throwing a lot of punches. And when you look at this, if Seldon can't get his punches off on the inside, he's going to have a hard time scoring any points. Seldon still has bounce in his step, but switching back and forth from lefty to righty, but not throwing too much. And you know, the burden here was much more on Bruce Seldon coming into this bout to look really spectacular, do well. All the national media is here. As you said, the day before the big heavyweight bout, chance to showcase himself. And instead, what he's done is fought a good journeyman heavyweight to a standstill. I don't know if that gets the job done for him, win, lose, or draw. And in this round, there comes Seldon. McCall had been doing quite well to that point.
Seldon got McCall turned around, hit with a double left hand. Seldon getting much the better of that exchange.
Yeah, even though McCall has him against the ropes, Seldon landing a couple of good shots.
Crowd taking up the chant, Bruce, Bruce.
But this in a round in which Bruce Seldon didn't throw many punches in the beginning portion. There's another good jab by McCall. McCall has not been accurate in this round, but he's thrown so many more punches.
It's one of those misses that takes a lot out of you. So we come to the end of the 8th round. There will be 6 minutes of boxing left when we come back right after this. We start the 9th round, and again, it's one of those fights that still can be had, I think, by either man.
And the way that round ended, with Bruce Seldon in this posture, even with not everything landing, is not the stuff that contenders or champions are made of. It's not the thing that Bruce Seldon wants people to remember about this bout. Nice right by Seldon.
Punches in the 8th round, and McCall threw more punches, which kind of interesting because Seldon got the better of it in the corner at the end of the round.
Seldon more accurate, but a very close round again. Now, I guess if Bruce Seldon is getting all these close rounds, then he's going to be in decent shape. But if not, he's going to have a problem. And for Oliver McCall, from his standpoint, I would think he is going to have to even pick up the pace even more, because let's face it, he's not the name guy here. He's the guy that has to really go out and get a win.
He is pushing the pace a little bit in this 9th round.
And I guess what I almost really mean to say is be really accurate with his punches. More accurate. But Bruce Seldon, he's not throwing. Maybe he hurt his hands again. Maybe he re-injured those hands. I don't know.
Bruised both hands against David Bay, as we mentioned, and Seldon goes down. And again, we talked about attrition. I just think that's more tired than anything else.
Couple of short right hands, and I think Bruce Seldon is just whipped, as you said. He's just tired.
He's not far from going, folks. And down he goes again.
From a nothing punch. 3 knockdown rule in effect here, and there's over a minute left. He might be a beaten fighter.
Right now, he looks all a part of a beaten fighter.
I mean, he went down from a punch that landed on his arms.
His legs are just shot. We mentioned that earlier. Great body shot.
That's the ticket for Oliver McCall. That's what he wants, and they may stop this any minute now. They got to stop it pretty soon. They almost have to step in.
Tony Perez taking a long look. Still a long way to go. 45 seconds. McCall will not let Seldon out of that corner.
Seldon trying to punch out, got his hands caught on the ropes. Well, you know what? I said stop, but Bruce Seldon is punching back. Let's see what he does now.
He still has nothing left at all. One more knockdown, the fight's over.
And if I was Oliver McCall, I would rip that body right now.
And down he goes. That's it. Oliver McCall has scored a huge upset here. Yet a predictable upset.
In some respects, yes, because Bruce Seldon stopped doing things offensively in that in about the 7th round. Boy, the look of a disappointed and dejected young man. And we have to say, Bruce Seldon, a hard worker, works at this craft, really wanted to be in contention in the heavyweight division. But he ran into somebody who could punch well and who came here in as good shape as he could be in and said, I'm not going to be an opponent. I'm not going to be just a journeyman. I'm going to come in here and win this fight, and he did.
We said at the very beginning of the fight that he's given himself the best possible chance to win the fight, and sure enough, he did. And we also pointed out the fact that the fight could come down to attrition, and it did.
What a disappointing time for Bruce Seldon. And you have to feel for this young man. He's a good athlete, a good young man, and he tried, but just got so tired toward the end of that bout. Even Oliver McCall, look at what a good sport. Here's the end of the bout. This is where good uppercut hurts him. And you know, we didn't see that at the beginning. But here goes Seldon against the ropes. And McCall goes after him. And
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of. And I didn't realize that he was so hurt by that uppercut, Bruce Seldon. And then the rest of this was almost academic. And he goes down. That first uppercut was the thing that hurt him, though.
Yeah, and I don't even think McCall realized that he hurt him that much. Let's go to Michael Buffer, get the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Tony Perez enforces the 3 knockdown rule, calling a halt to the bout at 2 minutes, 37 seconds of the 9th round. The winner by TKO from Chicago, Illinois, the Atomic Bull, Oliver McCall.
Well, Oliver McCall is the winner of this fight, and he'll have another day, and probably a good day. Tommy Morrison leading the cheers. He may be next. We'll be back to talk to him. This one, Oliver McCall, he's with Al Bernstein.
He is a happy winner, and your mother gave you the clue. She told you what to do tonight.
Mama said knock him out. I knocked him out for my mom. Hello, Chuck.